Apple's employee number 0. When Apple began designating employee numbers, Steve Jobs was offended that Wozniak received number 1 while he got number 2. He believed he should be second to no one, so he took number 0 instead. Robert X. Cringely, in his wonderful book Accidental Empires, tells a rib-tickling yarn about the early days of Apple. It happened in the late 1970s when Apple had grown beyond the point that all the employees knew each other on site. So it was decided that, like grown-up companies, they should all have name badges. As is the corporate way, it was deemed that these badges should be numbered and, as corporate law decrees, the number assigned would be based on the order in which employees had joined the company. Steve Wozniak was declared employee number 1, writes Cringely, Steve Jobs was number 2, and so on. Jobs didn't want to be number 2. He didn't want to be second in anything. Jobs argued that he, rather than Woz, should have the sacred number 1 since they were co-founders of the company and J came before W in the alphabet. When that plan was rejected, recounts Cringely, he argued that the number 0 was still unassigned, and since 0 came before 1, Jobs would be happy to take that number. He got it. The I. The I in the 1998 iMac stood for Internet because of how the computer connected to the web in 2 steps. Apple has also said that the I stands for individuality and innovation. Jobs had originally pitched the name McMahon for this new Mac. It was Ken Siegel, an executive with Apple's ad agency at the time, who suggested iMac. The I is for Internet, since it took only 2 steps to connect to the web, in case you were wondering. But Apple has also said it stands for individuality and innovation. The naming scheme would stick around. In 1999, Apple introduced the iBook, a funky machine that tried to replicate the iMac's success as an entry-level laptop. 9:41 a.m. Every Apple iPhone ad displays the time as 9:41 a.m., the time Steve Jobs unveiled it in 2007. There's a reason for everything at Apple. And that even includes the time displayed on the devices and promotional materials. It even extends to print ads and television commercials. That time used to be 9:42. You could see it across various commercials, print ads, and even on Apple's website. The explanation was simple: that's the time in the morning that Steve Jobs announced the very first iPhone in 2007. Around 42 minutes into his keynote address, he said, "Today Apple is going to reinvent the phone." And a picture of the iPhone, displaying the time 9:42, popped up on the screen behind him. But that all changed in 2010, when the very first iPad was released. When that was revealed, it displayed a different time, 9:41. If you check Apple's site right now, the time set on the devices is always 9:41. And not just on iPhones. Macs, too. Even the iPad and the iPad Air 2AD that ran during the keynote last month displays 9:41 as the time. But why did the time change? It's all very simple, according to former iOS chief Scott Forstall, who happened to divulge the secret to Australian-based app developer John Manning of Secret Lab. "We designed the keynote so that the big reveal of the product happens around 40 minutes into the presentation," Forstall said. "When the big image of the product appears on screen, we want the time shown to be close to the actual time on the audience's watches. But we know we won't hit 40 minutes exactly." They made the iPhone time be 9:42 and were pretty accurate. Very accurate, in fact. Jobs announced the phone at exactly 9:42, according to Engadget's Live blog of the event. So for the iPad they decided to go with 9:41, for no real reason at all. And there you are, the secret of the magic time, Forstall told Manning.